No, I'm worried about playing one of the
This.
best sides in the league. The first
You're
match
worried?
day of the week.
Is it at home?
It is at home. And not
Oh.
to say that, like, look, Amorim, if anything, last season proved that he can play against the better teams. So I'll be curious. I have no idea tactically where United are going to be in this match. And I was talking to Mila and Grant about this yesterday. Like, I think there's a realistic chance that C.O.C starts, which is fucking ludicrous. I'm going to go. We're going to do this preview on the under the assumption that he doesn't start, because
Marcus
I
is
think that's
back.
probably the most unlikely of the two options, but I think he gets minutes. Just crazy.
When's the
Just
last time he's
crazy.
played?
I don't know, but I think he plays.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard the story that they
So,
rushed
who starts
Xerxes
for
back
you?
to have Højlund not play in the Europa final, like extended minutes. Like they really don't rate Højlund over there internally, so I think you might be right, Dylan. He might pull a João Pedro, just go straight into the lineup, see what happens.
Yeah, according to Amorim, it sounds like they have had a hard time pulling him off the training pitch from all this stuff currently, and that he seems to be in shape. Now the question is he fit enough to play a 90 in the Prem? Fuck no, he's not. But can he give
Give him
you
an hour.
Can he give you an hour? Can he give you 30 with either United going to a false nine tactic, or I don't. Xerxes hasn't played all preseason, so I don't expect him to play in this one.
Is he still recovering from the hamstring?
Nobody knows. There has been no reporting on Xerxes.
Welcome back, Tyrell Malacia.
He's been in training. I can tell you that much, but I can't tell you like what the holdup is. This is the best match of the match week. It just is, and
Definitely is.
there's just so many storylines that you can go back and forth on. You've got Gyökeres going up against his old manager. The striker situation in general, like it was both teams' first choice that ended up in the other team's position, which is probably the way that I would have preferred that, right? Like United needed to kind of build through something, and Arsenal needed the surefire option, right? Like that's how that ended up playing out. Now, whether or not that's the way that everyone likes that, we'll see. But I mean, Gyökeres through the first couple of preseason games the last preseason game he was good, right, Facundo?
Very good. He combined a little bit more, like dropping into midfield, which I like to see. We were more direct. I just thought when we first got back for that Villarreal game, we probably hadn't trained. They trained after the match. This one, we had some minutes under the belt. I think this is probably the lineup he goes with against United. I think he actually starts Gyökeres. I was frustrated during the window, but now watching him play, if he links up like he did against Athletic Club, I think it makes a lot of sense. If he doesn't, then he'll struggle. But I thought there was things where it's just like he does things a 9 would do, where he fakes a run into the box, kind of stops right there. And Saka found him for a cutback. He mishit the shot. And then the header, the movement off of that was really good. Like I ended up going back and watching the headers that he had, even if they weren't goals, and they weren't necessarily bad headers. It was actually keepers just making saves. A couple of bad headers. So movement off the ball, running down the channels. And I think with training, there was an emphasis on being a bit more direct, which you saw it in the first half, which was nice. The second goal, he literally holds it up, plays it to Odegaard one time. Odegaard with his weak foot over the top to Martinelli, and then lays it off to Saka for a tap-in. So there was things that I liked in that game that were addressed, moving the ball through the middle and getting up the field quicker. So I think he starts because we need that against United.
Yeah, you don't bring in a guy and pay that much for him and not start him.
I love both players. Like Kai, even for the third goal, looked ridiculous. I was actually like, he's not getting bullied off the ball anymore, which I think is going to help him because he should be strong. If he is, and he's not getting like bodied off the ball, he's actually a good player. So I like having both options. I think he starts with the lineup against Athletic Club again.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the player that scares me the most, and we've talked about him a ton, is Zubimendi. He was the one player that. Oh hell yeah! That's actually that's clean. That's clean. He was the one player that didn't play when United played Sociedad, and it was like a major turning point in the Europa League thing because we just steamrolled Sociedad because he wasn't playing. With United's midfield and the way that they're going to set up in this game, like having a player of that quality, and if United's press isn't good, like he will torch United, and it could get ugly fast. So that's why he's the most.
Yeah. What I found interesting in the last preseason game is that him and Rice alternated being the deep man in the pivot, which I think is really interesting because I think you can get a little bit of it. I don't know. They're both good as an 8. Zubimendi needs to work on it more, but I found that really interesting. One will kind of play through lines, but like pass forward, and then Rice had the long ball to Saka a couple times. So that was pretty interesting to see. But yeah, I think based on all preseason, he's played really well. I just love the tempo setter. He's been a lot better than I thought he would be, kind of matching what he does for Spain when he gets some minutes. And Sociedad's a bit more conservative, but I've really liked what I've seen for him for the start of this preseason.
Yeah, I don't know, he's fucking class. I'm jealous that you guys have him because I think he's awesome.
I thought he was going to struggle athletically, but he's been winning tackles. He gets in front of everything. He's been really good defensively too. So I'm really excited.
Yeah. So, I mean, you said how you thought Arsenal's going to line up. I'm going to go under the assumption that Šeško doesn't start. And if he does play, it'll be off the bench. And I think United go to that false 9 look. I just don't think it'll be with Mount this time. In the last preseason game, they had Mount as the false 9. And that's not to say that Mount didn't do well. He actually played really well as this false 9 role. But I think you have to combat the midfields. And I'd much rather see some variation of Ugarte and either Casemiro or Menu, or instead of playing a striker, because I think that if United go out there and they put Bruno and Casemiro out there, it's game over before it even starts. And that's not because I don't think Bruno can play in the 8. It just simply comes down to the fact that Casemiro is not athletic enough to compete with Zubimendi or Rice. And it'll be game over before it starts. So I'm hoping that's how they run it out there. And then like my matchup to watch is Dorgu versus Saka. Dorgu's been our best player for me all preseason. And if he can somewhat force Saka back, right? If there's some way that he can get him going in the opposite direction, that'll be helpful.
I think Højlund will probably start. I think you just need to play with some sort of goal threat. I genuinely like what you guys.
Did you hear yourself there?
Yes.
Did you hear yourself there?
Yes.
Goal threat Højlund.
That's well, I'm just preparing myself for that. Like I think it has to be a striker. Like we're gonna have the majority of the ball. Like
yeah,
they're gonna want a runner to get out, and I think that's the option. So I think he'll play. I don't think Saka will. I'm not worried.
No, and I'm not saying you should be. I'm just saying if there's a way for United to win this match, it's through Dorgu. And it's because he can potentially keep Saka, in deeper spaces. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. That's how I would try to attack it if I was the manager. That's why you have wingbacks, right?
Yeah, I know. I just think Timber will handle that. Better 1v1 defender. Like I think if we were playing a different team, you might get Ben White, but I don't know. Who the hell knows, man. You United guys are such a clusterfuck that I don't know what to expect.
But they rise to the occasion.
And it scares the shit out of me. I gotta say, like it's like I really don't want to get off to a bad start, but it's a difficult it's a rivalry game. It's at Old Trafford, like
form or whatever they were last year is out of the table. It's a one-off.
If we're timid, then it might be a long day, but I think if we approach it with the right attitude, we should go in there.
Not Højlund up top.
Yeah. I'm telling you, he's not playing. So
Højlund?
No.
I believe it.
He didn't get minutes in the last
Manu
preseason.
makes sense to me, but we'll see what you guys do. I do agree
Would you
with
go
Facundo that they need a
Manu and
striker.
Ugarte?
Well, I don't see Manu's best position in this system, and that's kind of my biggest fear with the setup is what is his best position in the setup? Like him and Baleba next to each other in theory, it's just two really progressive ball carriers, right? So I don't know if that works. And then in the tens, you just got Cunha and Mbumo, so I think that's kind of the idea for what those tens look like. So that's the problem because there's no question of how talented he is, but the big question is where does he fit in? That's where I struggle.
I think
Just don't know.
I think it's the 8, and I think that if you get a guy like Baleba, the succession plan is for him to take over for Bruno at some point. I think the idea that Manu can't play in the 8 is so ludicrous to me because
Oh, he
people
definitely
just
can't.
look at and the not natural fit thing is also crazy to me because he's so young and he's so good at a multitude of different things that to just write him off because the system is a little different and he'd have to learn it is weird. Because like he wasn't learning this position last year. He was learning the 10. And because it was out of necessity, we were playing Garnacho and a mixed.
I thought that was his best spot in the system last year. I thought I was
He's
kind
not
of advocating for it.
Mila's talked about it. He's not a goal scorer like that. And so putting him in those positions, while
He
yes,
score some good goals.
he can score some good goals, but that's not that's not a strong suit.
Yeah.
You want him in those positions where he can take the ball and push it forward. I
That's
think
what
his
Baleba likes to do.
Yeah, but he's also
Baleba likes to push it forward.
He's a better.
Oh, crazy physically.
That's what a pivot is for. You can both do it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Baleba is that's the issue is there's no good partner next to Bruno or Manu, in my opinion. Like Ugarte has the legs to do the work, but he's not good at progressing the ball that way or passing the ball that way. So then it's not a good fit.
Destroyer.
And then Baleba, if think about it, the idea for me is like if you had Baleba next to Bruno or Manu, if he was able to progress the ball, it's just an option. Like you have to keep the other team on their toes. Like teams are looking at Ugarte and going trigger press, game over. You can just pull it straight off of him. But if it was a guy like Baleba, you can't do that. He will torch you in that way. So, and also we just don't build up through the middle either. It's just not the thing that we do.
True that.
That's the one thing I've learned. We don't go through the middle unless it's a long ball through. To your point, Facundo, that could totally be why a striker plays.
Have you played Mbumo or Cunha in the 9 at all in preseason?
Cunha, no.
They've played when they play Bruno up top there or Mount, it's just like a revolving door of those guys just constantly playing in the 9.
Okay, because that could work, but I don't.
Look, there's no good answers. Like the best answer would be C.O.C plays. And that's honestly my only reasoning for why I think he could potentially start in this match is because it's out of necessity. But
this is the same conversation Amorim's having with his staff.
Probably.
If I see that on Sunday morning, I'm gonna be like, "Oh my god, dude! I'm gonna hate my life even more."
You're in for one if a player can get up. Like there'd have to be an agreement between the coach and the player.
I'd love to see Šeško jumping as high as he can in the air. Oh, that'd be great.
That's the only way United win this match is if they just somehow become super lethal on the counter.
Oh, do it in Fergie time. Get a brace.
But no, we're a much better side. I can tell you that this game is going to be scrappy. That's why I'm predicting a 2-2.
I was going to predict the 2-2, Dylan.
Look, I'm not confident enough to predict a win, not after the season that they produced, but I am confident enough to say that we like a draw against Arsenal.
Yeah, you do. Mm-hmm.
So,
agreed.
Facundo, if you predicted a 4-0 win, I wouldn't even blame you. You wouldn't get much of an argument out of me.
It's going to be a 1-0 from him.
No, I was going to say 2-0.
Yep, I have no argument against it.
How many from open play?
Oh my god.
That argument sucks.
We're so back. Hell yeah.
The worst part is that's 100% how you guys are scoring because we're awful.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
awful at set pieces. Yeah. Defending them. And no, it would be a good way to score. I watched us concede one of the worst set piece goals.
You couldn't even add it onto Arsenal tax because United are horrific at defending them. Yeah, fair enough.
We are better at taking them now. That was new. It's a new wrinkle. Maybe that's how it'll end 2-2 is all set pieces.
I'm going 2-1.
Who?
For her?
Yeah. What a fucking
I
joke.
think you guys are gonna have a passionate start to this season, and then certainly drop off after this first game. But I could totally see you guys taking points off Arsenal, and then
I would be pretty
proceeding
united.
to lose like 3 in a row.
Yeah.
That also
I can
makes
see,
sense.
I could see a frustrated hair flick from Odegaard. Yeah, zoom in. I can see
I
it.
don't know. At Old Trafford, I think there's always a chance that you guys can come away with something.
Yeah.
But
So I'm hearing I'm an underdog.
you're not an underdog.
Well,
It's
then.
just a rivalry game. So
Just
anything can
around
happen.
haters, bro.
Uh,
That's all
I
that
think on
is.
paper,
It's okay,
Arsenal should walk away with the win. But in my gut, I got United walking away with the 2-1 win.
Hell yeah.
Oh
so bad.
my god.
We're so back.
I'm relying on your coach being so inept that we get a result. That's really what I'm relying on, and it's gonna happen.
There's really not that many options that he's got to go with still. So
You're gonna have center backs in midfield. Okay, thank you.
Everyone puts their center backs in midfield. That's not new.
I don't know about that.
Everyone does it.
I do
Stones
that.
did it.
I saw Gahey do it last year even.
Everyone does it. We just get cooked because it's Casemiro that's in front of them or alongside him. Like I think he walked into it and was like, oh yeah, we can do this, and then realized like, oh no, not.
Oh yeah, he had no idea. He thought he had an
Yeah.
idea what he was walking into, and he didn't.
I'll say this: the only player that I'm actually scared of in your team is Mbumo. That's the only guy that actually is like, okay, please don't have some sort of stupid performance against us.
He's going to.
Can you take the Brentford out of the man?
He's good. What?
Oh, what?
No, I'm saying I thought you were talking about a jammy goal. Maybe that's how I always envision just the ball bouncing around, wallop.
Well, I fucking hope he has 8 of those.
Yeah, I mean, you have better attacking quality, so that's really just. I have no idea what to expect. I haven't seen you guys play, and I just think it's so new that I'm like, it's not 15th or whatever you finished last year. Like this is you're probably a top 7-8 team in the league. I think. Like,
yeah. No, it's a much better side. It's a much better side, and to Milo's point, like in these rivalry games, anything can happen. Anything.
I hope not.
Well, I hope we kick your guys' ass, but whatever.